to us. We almost expected it.
Well, you should have expected it. And here's how disingenuous Elder Apostle Gabar is and Great Millstone is. Because why wouldn't you expect behavior that you taught us to do? You guys literally taught us to talk down to women, to beat and abuse women, to take women's money, to not take care of kids, to abandon women and children. This was literally prescribed by the elders of Great Millstone. We were young, impressionable in the faith, and this is what you poured into us. The very behavior you're saying you're not surprised about, that the sister is complaining about, is the very behavior that you guys encouraged us to do. I remember being young. I come in and
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakak Wadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS, Great Millstone, rule well. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect. Okay, the ones who are listening, again, this truth and sincerity. All right. Okay, this video will be entitled, okay, Grla'S malicious intent on GMS, okay, dash false witness, okay, and this is a video from the Elder Matzakba, okay, a response, Grla'S malicious attack on GMS, okay, and this old demon, okay, Al-Azhar, okay, his newly group, Grla', okay, pops back up out of the blue, from the dead, okay, and basically bearing false witness on the apostles, okay, taking down the honor, okay, he ain't giving honor, and basically is a malicious, okay, despiteful, okay, ingenious intent, okay, with false witness or false accusation, okay, the prophets, the apostles, okay, and GMS, we don't teach, to abuse woman abuse, okay, and all that. We teach, the apostles teach of the wickedness of woman, okay, Eve, but not the but not abusing them, okay. And basically, this old demon, he pops back up. Basically, have a walk and talk what Apostle Gabar do, on the situation with Deacon Haka and Hassad, who stepped down, okay, and basically blaming the situation on the apostles, okay, but they never taught him that, matter of fact, from this corrupt tree would he spring, okay, this Pegatron, this Pegasus, he bring forth, corrupted fruit, in Matthew 7 verse 15, which I did a video on, I did a video on the same situation with Deacon Haka and whatnot, how he was pimping out basically his wife, with money, okay, and I'd bring that precept out. But this is what it is. It's his teaching and his example, okay, bring that, okay, and all these false prophets, these false teachers, they are going to be destroyed. Judgment, ultimate judgment, ultimately, okay, the future is judgment, okay, because it wasn't sincere and in sincerity with this truth preaching and teaching, okay. And this is the apostles, the elders, the apostles who bring these guys, the same Al-Azhar into the truth, and basically, like you have spiritual fathers, and he's bringing false, witness, okay. This is what it is, false witness, all right. And we not ignorant, okay, of this, because we know the times what we living in. As Apostle Taha name it, the year of apostasy, agents and sellouts, okay, as you see that this is apostasy, okay. So basically these are some scriptures here we'll go through. Lord's willing, this video will be edifying unto the elect, all right, Okay, so just pull up a precept here. This is First Timothy chapter 4, verse 1. Okay, apostasy. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times, okay, these times, what we live in the end times, the end of Esau Edom's age, okay, some shall depart from the faith. Okay, these guys, Alizar, Pegatron, wicked acts he did. Okay, giving heed to seducing spirits, okay, and doctrines of devils, okay, want to basically link in the world, with mammon and power. Okay, you could only choose one. Okay, giving up your apostles, okay, the men who the Lord used to guide you and feed you with knowledge, basically giving them up and, accusing them, of false or false witness. All right, verse 2, it says, speaking lies in hypocrisy. These guys is hypocrites. Okay, a big hypocrite. Okay, because, you're not watching yourself, examining yourself. Okay, as the elders say in the video. Okay, nobody forget what you do, the acts you do. You shouldn't even be talking or giving advice. As you put them in that situation. Okay, you ought to see about yourself, your sins, Okay, it says having their conscience seared with a hot iron. Okay, dead. Okay, as the NLT say. Okay, so this is what it is: hypocrisy, lies, deceit, a deceitful, malicious, despiteful, stuff he coming with blaming the ministry. Okay, to blame the ministry. Okay, the works of the apostles. Okay, on down of GMS. Okay, this is 2 Timothy 3. I'll start verse 1. It says, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. Okay, these men are a danger to you. Ravening wolves. Okay, ravishes for money. Okay, all these guys, and they're gonna lead you to danger, to destruction. Okay, verse 2, it says, men shall be lovers of their own selves. Okay, as you see, Alazar and them, they heed to their own lust, their own selves. Okay, created their own camp and come off the doctrine, the ministry, the knowledge of the apostles. Okay, all right, covetous. Okay, with money, boasters. Okay, they boast, but they didn't get the doctrine. Okay, they didn't just pick up the mantle, become a teacher. Okay, they learn from the men who the Lord give them to teach, give them to be edified. Okay, proud. Okay, blasphemers. Okay, big blasphemers of the name. With Haka, with the post basically, or thumbnail of Xing out the name Yahushai and putting a big check mark on GC. Okay, why these guys, they need to be destroyed. Judgment is coming at the house of the Lord. Okay, disobedient to parents. Okay, I was watching a video from, I think, Elder Grla'S, if I'm not mistaken, from GMS Vegas 144 Reloaded. Okay, subscribe to be edified. Basically he was talking about how Alazar grew up with a one parent. Okay, and basically didn't have a father figure, and that's it. Okay, and he not honoring or obeying his parents, in the faith, his fathers in the faith, but disobedient and causing, bringing false accusation, unthankful, they're not thankful for having this knowledge, unholy. Okay, without natural affection, truth breakers. Okay, these guys, they break the truth. Okay, for money. Okay, as you see, teaching Genesis, teaching Gentiles could be saved for money, for filthy lucre's sake. All right, false accusers. You see that? False accusers. Okay, and this is what Alazar is bringing back here. And this guy, he's gonna be destroyed. He was defeated. As you see, his countenance, is looking pretty messed up. And he feel he could just pop back up because these men, they get, exposed, but you know, nobody forget that, and you're gonna be destroyed. Okay. Okay, so false accusers, incontinent, fierce despisers of those that are good, okay, of the apostles. Okay, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of power. That's it. Okay, verse 5, it says, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away. Because these guys gonna lead you into destruction. They had a form of godliness, okay, mixing it with Christianity, with the world, with the rhythm of the world, what to get money, okay? I'm not giving you that 100% truth, so, basically that's it at the end of the day, all right? See what precepts I have there. Okay, so you're supposed to honor your apostles, your elders, all right? This is so this is First Peter 5 verse 1, all right? Serve power willingly. It says, the elders which are among you I exhort, you uplift, you announce the great works, okay? Who also an elder, okay? Apostle Peter speaking here, okay? And a witness of the sufferings of Hamashiach, okay? And also a partaker of the glory that shall be revealed. Okay, so you're supposed to lift, exhort your elders, okay? Not bringing false accusation, I believe, which is a commandment, okay? In the scriptures, you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor, okay? This is First Timothy 6, okay, and verse 1, okay? Instructions to those who minister, okay? Let as many servants as are under the yoke, okay, which these guys break off the yoke long ago, okay? They're not in the grind, they're looking back, okay? And they won't be fit for the kingdom of heaven to come, okay? The new heavens and the new earth. It says, count their own masters worthy of all honor, okay? And that's why we always give double honors to our apostles in the videos, all right? In our intros, okay? That the name of power and his doctrine be not blasphemed. Because this is what they're doing. Because if you're blaspheming the man of the Lord, the mouthpiece of the Lord, you're blaspheming Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. And the Lord not going to take that lightly. Alright, verse 2, it says, and they that have believing masters, let them not despise, because they are brethren, but rather do them service, because they are faithful and beloved partakers of the benefit. These things teach and exhort. Okay, teach and exhort, lift up the apostles, because they are worthy of double honors for their works. Okay, this is what you're supposed to do in. Okay, not bearing false witness. But these guys, the intention is wicked. Okay, and they're gonna have a fall at the end of the day. Okay, this waxing worse and worse. Okay, this is Second Peter. I'm just bring that out quick. 2 Timothy 3 verse 13. Okay, but evil men, okay, and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. Okay, and this is what these guys was doing, deceiving and being deceived. Deceiving, bringing false accusation. Okay, and this is the times we in till they be destroyed. Let's go in that word worse. Alright, worse. Okay, in the Strong's definition, okay, it says comparative of, from, an obsolete equivalent, okay, of, uncertain derivation, more evil or aggravated, physically, mentally, or morally sore, worse. Okay, this is what these guys in their mind, because it's demons. The Rakah Kodash left these guys, And that's why they bring in false accusation against the truth, because, you know, these demons in them, okay, they mentally, they morally, you know, destroyed, okay, waxing worse and worse, okay, you know. So don't follow these guys and trust these guys, you know. They're exposed and they're gonna be destroyed, okay. As for all these false prophets, this is Isaiah 29 and verses 20. It says, "For the terrible one is brought to north, okay, and the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity, for sin upon sin, are cut off." Okay, as you see, this is what this Al-Azhar is doing, pop back up on, basically bringing false accusation, iniquity, you know, to the table. Okay, these guys are gonna be cut off, okay, killed, okay, destroyed, okay. They're not of the remnant, they're not gonna make it on this side. Verse 21, it says that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate. This is what the apostles did, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught. Okay, and the apostles and the works are just, you know, but you bring in false accusation, you know, you're gonna be cut off, okay. All right, you know, woe unto them that offend. All right, this is Matthew chapter 18 and verse 7. Okay, stumbling blocks. Okay, these guys have received that and will be a stumbling block to you, you know, if you take heed to them. But, you know, they fall is for their destruction. All right, they receive stumbling blocks, and now they're gonna be destroyed. Okay, this is Matthew 18 verse 7. It says, "Woe unto the world because of offenses." Okay, for it must needs be that offenses come. Okay, we know this. All right, as Yahushua is speaking in red letter. Okay, because it's prophecy and the things the many Lord will go through, which proves they are the prophets. Okay, but woe to that man by whom the offenses cometh. Okay, these guys are in the rhythm of Esau, in the mindset of Esau, to bring down the truth, you know, and feel they could win, but they're gonna be destroyed. Woe unto them. Woe means destruction. Okay, this is what coming. Okay, all right. I'm gonna just see here quick. See any precepts I have. Okay, I think it's just this last one here. 1 Timothy 7. Check out that 1 Timothy 7. Slakia, I think it's 2 Timothy. Slakia, was it 2 Timothy? Where from here? And first Peter, 2 Peter. I think. Well, yeah, you know, so it's false witness, false accusation. Can't remember that precept. Okay, but this is what it is. You're supposed to give double honors to the apostles. You know, so all these, you know, guys are gonna be destroyed, confounded, and destroyed. Okay, you know, Lord's will in this video was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect. Wa Abad Babal and Shalom.